Okay, let's give you guys some practice. So find all the solutions to this equation. So find x, where x is between 0 and 4 pi. It can include 0 and it can include 4 pi. So press pause and have a go. Okay, so to do this, the first step is just try and understand what this thing actually means. So whenever you see the coefficients in front of the x, here is 3. We write it as this: sine 3 bracket x minus pi over 6. Now, if you get this times this, it will give you 3x. This times this, it will give you 3 pi over 6. Simplify this, it would be 2 pi over, sorry, it would be pi over 2. And then you've got a minus here, 3. You see, this thing here is exactly the same as this, but just written differently. So by you writing this as this, it will give you an understanding of what's going on. So for example, hang on. For example, if you write it like this, you can actually see what's going on here. Or what we need to understand what this graph will look like. So start out with your function, with your normal function, sine of x. Sine of x looks like this, where one cycle is 2 pi. Now apply this transformation. Apply this transformation. This transformation will squeeze everything by a factor of 3. So we squeeze everything inwards by a factor of 3. So applying this transformation to this function will then give us this. So squeeze everything by a factor of 3. So you would get this whole length here. Remember, the whole cycle here is 2 pi. If you squeeze it by a factor of 3, so you get the whole length here cut up into 3 equal pieces. 3 equal pieces. Now one cycle is like this. So that's why one cycle here now is 2 pi over 3, because you get this whole length here, 2 pi, and then you cut it into 3 equal pieces. So one cycle now is 2 pi over 3, because you've squashed it by a factor of 3. Okay, so now applying this transformation will then give us this graph here. And then now let's just give this thing a new name. Let's just give this graph a new name. Let's just call it g of x. It's a new function. Call it g of x. Now we want to do this thing here. So apply this transformation to our new graph. Apply this transformation to our new graph. So that would mean you would put this into the x here. So you've got your 3 out here, and this is you would put this into the x, giving you this. But by the way, if you get this times this times this, it would give us what we had earlier, right above. So applying we have no idea what this thing looks like. You know, we have no idea what this thing looks like, but we're going to apply this transformation to this graph. Remember, this is g of x. Apply this transformation. We have no idea what this looks like, but then we know that this thing here is going to move the graph across to the right by pi over 6. By pi over 6. So move this thing here across. So now it's originally it was at the origin. Move it across. So now it's at pi over 6. So basically, this graph here is really you moving it across by pi over 6. So you're going to have this graph will look like this. You're going to have one cycle here. So remember, this is 2 pi. You're going to have another cycle here, and then you're going to have another cycle here. That's and then because we want all the solutions from 0 to 4 pi, you're going to repeat the process. One cycle here, another cycle, and then another cycle. So our graph looks like this. Remember, hang on. We are trying to solve this here. When this thing here will give us this graph, will then give us this graph, and then we're trying to find out when this thing will be equal to minus a half. So minus a half would be, well, this thing here is -1, so negative a half would be here. So we're trying to find out the intersection of this line here. So you've got a solution here, you've got a solution here, you've got a solution here. So our job is really to find all the solutions between 0 and 4 pi. Okay, so you've got a solution here. So your job is to work out this x value here. and then you've got a solution here, here, and so on. So you've got lots of solutions. Okay, I will continue in the next video. So our job is really to solve this. Our job is really to solve this thing here. This thing here is our graph here. And then -1/2 is this straight line here. And then when will this equal this? It's really when will the two lines cross? Okay, between 0 and 4 pi. I will continue in the next video. Okay.